Call Imla, Alhaina, Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, Amashiach, Wamalaki, Bahashim, Harawat, Kakwarash, Barakatham, the water Bible, Wakwam, Yasharala. Double honor to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone who teach us daily, and to the men out there teaching the likewise doctrine, say to you, Shalom. Today we're going to get into a couple of videos. I got about 3 videos set up, and it's all going to display the stupidity, the ignorance, the hypocrisy of Esau Edom, because of the fact that all these things are coming to boil. It's coming to a head right now, which the apostles, the elders, the bishops, and the brothers on down have been telling you that this was going to happen. And it's not going to get better. It's only going to get worse. We only pray to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai to speed up the days because Esau's wickedness, his insanity, his hypocrisy, his madness, his wickedness is exhausting. Call Halal 414. So before we grab these videos, I got to read this copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Let's grab these videos. All right, the first one is from the Breakfast Club. You got Charlemagne, and he's giving his opinion, in which I agree with him on a lot of stuff he said. But he declares Donald Trump donkey of the day after he declares war on Iran. Let's get it.
This is the same man who self-declared himself the peace president. Okay, this is the man who launched the Board of Peace. This is the man who 10 years ago promised to focus on America first. He said when he first ran for president in 2016 that regime change is a proven absolute failure. He promised to stop racing to topple foreign regimes. Okay, in 2024, when he ran for president, he said he would start no new wars. And he said that if Big Sister General Kamala Harris won, she would get us into World War III guaranteed, and send the sons and daughters of Americans to go fight for a war in a country that you've never heard of. I'm not making any of this up. Let's listen.
We're going to stop the reckless and costly policy of regime change. We want a strong and powerful military, and ideally we don't have to use it. You know, we had no wars. 4 years, we had no wars. They said, he will start a war. I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars. You're not going to have a war with me, and you're not going to have a third world war with me. That I can tell you. I will also restore peace through strength, and I will prevent World War III from happening. We will stop.
Let's get a scripture real quick, because he got y'all. We told y'all this man is a compulsive, impulsive, habitual liar, but you people ate it up anyway, and I don't understand how the hell you look at a pedophile, a 34-count felon, a cheat, a con man, a failed actor. But for some reason, y'all look at this man and see leadership. Romans chapter 16, verse 18. For they that are such serve not our Lord, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, but their own belly, and by good words and fair speeches deceive the hearts of the simple. Y'all simple as hell. Let's roll.
When crooked Hillary Clinton was running against me, she said, look at him, listen to him, listen to his horrible tone. I said, that horrible tone is going to keep people from fighting us, and that's what happened.
Well, none of that has aged well. Not to mention, they told us last summer that Iran's nuclear facilities have been obliterated, and suggestions otherwise are fake news. That was posted on the White House website on June 25th, 2025. But just last week, on February 22nd, they told us Iran is a week away from bomb-grade material. I'm not making none of this up either. Roll the tape.
Till Iran wants to meet. As you know, their sites were obliterated. They're very evil nuclear sites. They were, now has been proven.
Now listen, everything he says about Iran, he's really talking about himself. And this is Donald Trump, once again, using projection. He doesn't know he's doing it. Now, projection is when you accuse somebody of doing something that you're actually doing. And if you give him enough time, you let him talk, he will tell it all. He will tell on himself. Now, I got this scripture here, John chapter 8, verse 44. This is the red letter Lord Yahweh Shai speaking. Ye are of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there's no truth in him. Listen to this. This is projection. When he speaketh the lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. That's projection. When he speaketh the lie, he's telling you about him. Now, let's have a listen.
We had some fake news for a little while.
He also said that Obama would start a war with Iran to boost his re-election prospects. Let's listen to this one.
Listen to this. This is when he's going to go full-blown projection mode. He's going to accuse Obama of everything he's actually doing.
Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective. So the only way he figures that he's going to get reelected, and as sure as you're sitting there, is to start a war with Iran.
Well, speaking of...
Was that not projection? Yes, it was. Now, there is a reason that he knows about an upcoming war with Iran. First, he tried to say Barack Obama was going to start a war with Iran. Then he said Kamala Harris is going to start a war with Iran. You know why he knows this information? Because regardless of who selected to be the president, they have the same marching orders. So it doesn't matter, Democrat, Republican, they were all going to do this. That's how he knows. And it's based on the fact that, I mean, this ain't got nothing to do with Iran having nuclear weapons. This has everything to do with the fact that Iran doesn't have a Federal Reserve Bank. So they want to destroy Iran, destabilize the economy, destabilize everything, and then coming up with the solution. They're going to lend them large amounts of money to rebuild. And when they can't pay it back, they are going to take it. This is Esau's, what they call it, economic hitman strategy. And the same with Syria. Remember Trump's first term, he bombed Syria 3 times. Syria was on that list as far as countries not having Federal Reserve banks. And don't let that title fool you. Federal Reserve has nothing to do with government. These are Jewish-owned banks under the guise of being tied to the government. Let's go.
Starting a war to boost their re-election prospects. What about starting a war to...
But not, is he in the process of doing that now? And we told y'all he was going to do? Midterms are coming up in November. The only way for this man to stay in office is to start a war. Either declare war or declare martial law. Remember when we was telling you he was playing for 2? It seems like this Iranian war won the contest of which one was going to be declared first between martial law and a world's war. It's not a world war yet, but it's well on its way. It's not going to go full-blown nuclear yet because there are 2 more major prophecies ahead of that, which is Jacob's trouble, which we are already in. It hasn't intensified yet, but we are there. And the MOTB. After those 2 prophecies, then this war is going full-blown nuke. And we have proof, receipts of these countries that the United States is attacking and then giving you a bullshit lie as to why they're doing it. The real reason is they want to destabilize the country, destabilize the economy, so they can go down there with their solution, which is to get them a Federal Reserve Bank so the small hats can control and steer their money as they please.
stop an election. We have Trump talking about that too.
So let me just say 3.5 years from now. So you mean if we happen to be in a war with somebody, no more elections? Oh,
You see, he's taking a play out of Dudu Netanyahu's playbook. You want to stay out of jail for all these sex crimes, these child crimes, you got to start a war. They've been trying to get Dudu out of office over there for years. He won't leave because he keeps starting wars to stay out of jail. That's the dumbest logic I ever seen. Stay out of jail for committing war crimes, you're going to commit more war crimes. That sounds like an Edomite.
I think sadly that clip is going to age very well.
Say 3.5 years from now. So you mean if we happen to be in a war with somebody, no more elections? Oh,
You heard it from the devil's mouth itself. But we told y'all he was going to do this. These are the only two plays he got left. Either start a war, declare martial law, or go to jail.
I think sadly that clip is going to age very well. I miss the days when all my president lied about was having sexual relations with a woman. Okay, it's only been about a year, and Trump is sending your sons and daughters to war to topple foreign regimes. Look, man, I don't care if it's Iran, Iraq, I's tired. Okay, I's tired of seeing tens of billions, hundreds of billions of dollars spent on war when people are struggling to make ends meet right here in America. Okay, in the words of the late great Tupac Shakur, they got money for war but can't feed the poor. Not to mention, we have to watch all these kids in other countries being killed. Okay, a bombing of an Iran primary school killed 115 girls. I don't care where life is lost, okay? I don't like it because when I hear stories about a school being bombed and kids losing their life, all I think about is my kids. Can you imagine being a parent and getting that kind of news? I don't have to live in the same country as a person to have empathy for their situation. Not to mention, Trump is putting our troops in danger. Imagine being a military officer who voted for Trump because you were tired of going overseas to fight wars. You bought into him saying he's the anti-war president. And, listen, I'll even shoot you some bail in Trump's first term. He didn't start any new large-scale ground wars. This is
He bombed Syria 3 times his first term. Just putting that out there.
true. He also made a deal with the Taliban in 2020 to withdraw U.S. forces from Afghanistan. So I can see why you would believe him when he said he was the anti-war president and he wouldn't start any new wars. But gotcha. Okay, imagine buying into that and now, boom, you off to Iran. Not to mention all the people who feel like we are only going into Iran because Trump is Bibi Netanyahu's bitch. Okay, this is all I've been hearing all weekend. That's all I've been hearing people say. Jeremy Sachs, who is an American economist, said this.
This has never been about nuclear weapons. This has been about Israel's regional hegemony in the Middle East. Israel wants to topple the Iranian regime. Period. It has said so. This is not a mystery. This is not my claim. This is Israeli policy repeated year in, year out. The whole idea that Trump is negotiating to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon, that was
I told you, this ain't got nothing to do with nuclear weapons. And even if it did, who is Donald Trump to tell these people what they can and can't do with their money? See what I'm saying? He reckless with his own money, but he think he has a superior obligation to tell these people what they can and can't do with their money? This man goofy.
negotiated. Trump ripped it up. The Iranians have come back every year to say, we don't want a nuclear weapon. We want negotiations. The United States does not accept yes for an answer because it works for the government of Israel. It may be because of what's in the Epstein files that haven't been released. It may be blackmail. It may be corruption. It may be many other things.
It's all of those. Israel was very clever as the serpent. Got all these politicians on tape doing shit to children and blackmailing them to destroy their own country. But you Edomites are superior, right? You fell for this dumb shit. All these politicians have been turned into yes men because they're being blackmailed. by what's in those files. It's not hard to see. Yet nobody's in jail yet, see? Mm-hmm.
But it is not about America's interests.
Listen, if you are an American and you see us spending hundreds of billions of dollars on a war and someone tells you that war is only happening because another country wants you to do it, oh, you are pissed off this morning. Okay, the next reporters who interviewed Donald Trump need to ask him those two questions. President Trump, you said there will be no new wars. What changed? And are you doing this because you are beholden to Bibi Netanyahu and the Israeli government? I need those two questions asked, but it won't matter what the answer is because the response will be a lie. Okay, Operation Epic Fury is destined to be Operation Epic Fail. Listen, man, everyone who voted for Trump, it's okay to say you got conned. He got you. I am not judging you. You know why? Because sadly, we are in this together, okay? I know it sounds good to say, that's your president. No, he's our president. He's the president of the United States of America. And what he does impacts us all. And it's going to take all of us, okay, we the people, to clean up whatever mess he leaves. So I'm not judging you for your vote, okay?
They're going to clean up their own mess when they go into captivity.
Actions have consequences, and the consequences are clearly speaking for themselves. But I will start judging those of you who can't admit you got it wrong, because the moment you admit you were fooled is the moment you stop being one. Dog here today is...
It ain't going to matter. It's not going to matter at all. Well, they admit they stupid or not. We know you stupid. Now, this one is General Wesley Clark explaining how the United States has plans to topple 7 countries in 5 years. Listen to the list of these countries. This is how Trump knew that sooner or later a war with Iran was going to pop off. It don't matter who the president is, because they all had the same marching orders to start some shit with Iran.
About 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon and I saw Secretary Rumsfeld and Deputy Secretary Wolfowitz. I went downstairs just to say hello to some of the people on the Joint Staff who used to work for me. And one of the generals called me and he said, "Sir, you got to come in. You got to come in and talk to me a second." I said, "Well, you're too busy." He said, "No." He says, "We've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq." This was on or about the 20th of September. I said, "We're going to war with Iraq. Why?" He said, "I don't know." He said,
Now, you see the Edomite response? They laugh at the things they should be pissed off about. That's why nothing's getting done in this country. And I see it all the time. Every time an Edomite's supposed to be pissed, they laugh it off like it's no big deal until it becomes a big deal.
guess they don't know what else to do. So I said, well, did they find some information connecting Saddam to Al-Qaeda? He said, no. He says, there's nothing new that way. They've just made the decision to go to war with Iraq. He said, I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we've got a good military and we can take down governments. And he said, I guess if the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem has to look like a nail.
Exactly. I got a scripture. And this is describing Esau, Edom. This is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? And this is the Lord mocking Edomites after he takes them down. Because like the colonel said, the general colonel, he said, every problem looks like a nail. This is the only way Esau knows how to solve problems. Death, violence, and murder, which makes him unfit to rule. He said he don't know. All we know is we got a strong military and we can take down governments. But you never stop to think, rather you should. This is why this man is unfit to rule.
So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, are we still going to war with Iraq? And he said, oh, it's worse than that. He said, he reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper, he said, I just got this down from upstairs, meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today, and he said, this is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran.
You heard it? Has Libya been destroyed? Yes. That's when they took down Gaddafi because he wanted nothing to do with this dollar. He was on his way to bring back the gold standard. And then the United States murdered him and destroyed his country. See? And he said, finishing off with Iran. Let's get that list again.
Now we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran.
Mm-hmm.
The truth is about the Middle East is, had there been no oil there, it would be like Africa. Nobody is threatening to intervene in Africa. The problem is the opposite. We keep asking for people to intervene and stop it. And there.
See? Get the book of Micah. Chapter 2, verse 1, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds when the morning is light. They practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man of his heritage. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, against this family do I devise an evil, from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go haughtily, for the time is evil. The Lord got a trap set for y'all asses. Now let's get another script. Let's go to Habakkuk. Chapter 2. Verse 4, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also because he is a proud man. Slack it. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as deaf and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. Bam. Automatically unfit to rule because he can't be satisfied. Wasn't Trump not talking about taking Cuba, Greenland, Canada, Mexico, the Panama Canal, Venezuela to do what? You can't even run this bitch.
There's no question that the presence of petroleum throughout the region has sparked great power involvement. Whether that was the specific motivation for the coup or not, I can't tell you, but there's always been this attitude that somehow we could intervene and use force in the region.
See? I got one more. Hold on. Let's come out of this one. And let's get the last one. This lady, this is JoJo from Jersey, and she's giving some very honest opinion about what's going on today. And the name of this video is Draft Dodger Launches Illegal War.
A 5-time draft-dodging Nepo baby who mocked a POW for being captured, called the fallen of war suckers and losers, bragged about avoiding STDs as his personal Vietnam, insulted a military widow, disparaged a Gold Star family, and gutted the VA, is now standing in front of the country telling us to prepare for the loss of American lives in a war he doesn't even have the goddamn authority to start. Mr. No New Foreign Fucking Wars, Mr. America Fucking First. Now he's telling us to expect that we're going to lose some heroes because that is the price of war. The price of war. In a war he is not authorized to declare. And all of this shit is happening at the very same time that everything here is getting harder, tighter, meaner, sicker. Groceries aren't any cheaper. Neither are our medications. Hell, because of Donald Trump, we're shelling out another $1,000 to $1,700 a year per household just to stay afloat. So how does bombing some foreign land make my milk cheaper? How does launching missiles in the Middle East make insulin more affordable? How does any of this make any of us safer when we don't even know what the hell we're doing there? Because this isn't what he promised. He promised he would release the Epstein files. He promised he wouldn't get us into any new
See, y'all still holding liars to their word. That's where you messing up at, America. Call this man out for the lies he has told and the damage he has done and hold him accountable. But yet, you still trying to hold a compulsive liar to his promise. That's one of the most retarded things I've ever seen. Has it not clicked in your head that this man is a compulsive liar and has no intention of fulfilling these false promises or telling the truth? Y'all still expecting the wicked to be righteous. You promised. Guess what? He's a compulsive liar. He ain't gonna keep no promise. So why are you expecting him to? You setting yourself up to be disappointed every time you believe this man. When you should be expecting him to lie.
foreign wars. He promised he would lower the price of groceries and medications. He promised a lot of fucking things. And instead, he's declaring war while protecting pedophiles, while prices.
He ain't protecting them. He protecting his own ass. Trump is one of the most selfish men on this planet. And everybody, if he can throw you under the bus to save his own ass, he will. You better ask Christian Nome.
Keep fucking skyrocketing while ordinary people are stretching paychecks thinner and thinner just to survive. So I have a question for you, Ma and Pa MAGA. I have a question for you, America First MAGA. I have a question for you, No New Foreign Wars MAGA. Whose children are expendable? Whose kids are you going to sacrifice for this bullshit vanity war? What lives are supposed to cover the cost of appeasing that madman's fucking ego? Is it your kids? Because it sure as fucking shit ain't mine.
All right, well said, ma'am. Here's some scripts. Let's go to Psalms chapter 58, verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Stop expecting the wicked to keep promises. Just stop it. You're destroying yourself. Let's get this one. Book of Sirach. Matter of fact, let's just go to the book. Book of Sirach, we start in chapter 10, verse 2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. So if you got a lying-ass president, you're going to have lying-ass administration. What manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. You got a pedo in the White House, you're going to have pedo citizens. Is that not obvious yet? Verse 3, an unwise king destroyeth his people. But through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. Now we can skip over to chapter 12. Verse 3, there can no good come to him that is always occupied in evil, neither to him that giveth no alms. So we already know how this is going to play out for Esau. He the only idiot thinking he could change prophecy when falling right into prophecy. Verse 10, never trust thine enemy, for like his iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Verse 12, set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Gotta ask Maduro. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words to be pricked therewith. Verse 16, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit, or alligator Alcatraz, or a concentration camp, or a detention center. Now you getting it. But if you find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee every time. That's why it loops back to chapter 12, verse 10, never trust thine enemy. Because see, this woman was trusting. She sounded very disappointed. You promised this, you promised that. No, we're not disappointed because we didn't trust a word that came out his lying ass mouth. So we're not disappointed. We expected these to be lies, which they have turned out to be. But y'all disappointed because y'all believed a liar again. Chapter 13, verse 4. If thou be for his profit, he will use thee, but if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. Yeah. If thou have anything, he will live with thee. Yeah, he will make thee barren, not be sorry for it. If he have need of thee, he will deceive thee and smile upon thee and put thee in hope. He will speak thee fair and say, what wantest thou? What was the first thing this man did when he came back in for a second term? He legalized bribery. Chapter 14, verse 7, Book of Sirach. And if he do it good, he do it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. Now let's get those one. Is it Deuteronomy? Hold on, y'all. Yep, Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 29. Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee. O people saved by the Lord Yahweh, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency. And thine enemy shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places. Their high places are all these lies. They didn't set up to prop up their kingdom. The famous lies. The Lord is white. We went to the moon. Shit like that. Those are real people over there in the land. Get this one. Proverbs chapter 17, verse 4. A wicked doer giveth heed to false lips, and a liar giveth ear to a naughty tongue. Now we can go to Proverbs chapter 4, verse 16. For they sleep not unless they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. Go to Jeremiah. Chapter 9, verse 8. Their tongue is like an arrow shot out. It speaketh deceit. One speaketh peaceably to his neighbor with his mouth, but in his heart he layeth his wait. I mean, he waiting on the right opportunity to strike. Just like when he hit Venezuela, they went at nighttime. When they hit Iran, they went at nighttime. Weak shit. But you got the powerful military. So why you doing fuckboy shit like attacking people while they sleep? Go to Isaiah chapter 59. Now, this is talking about wicked Israelites, but you can apply this to Esau because this is where the wicked Israelites got this behavior. Isaiah chapter 59, verse 4, none calleth for justice, nor any pleader for truth. They trust in vanity and speak of lies. They conceive mischief and bring forth iniquity. Verse 6, their web shall not become garments, neither shall they cover themselves with their works. Their works are works of iniquity, and the act of violence is in their hands. Their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed innocent blood. Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquity, wasting and destruction are in their paths. The way of peace they know not, and there is no judgment in their goings. They have made them crooked paths. Whosoever goeth therein shall not know peace. You better ask NATO, are you feeling peaceful right now? No, you're not. Because you got Amalek and Esau destroying everything. Let's get this one. Everybody who has any dealings with Esau end up regretting it. Ask NATO. Ask Canada. He that is evil to himself, to whom shall he be good? He shall not take pleasure in all his goods. You got Edom shitting on Edom now. But for some reason, you Christians think Esau just loves you. Okay, he's gonna show you some love when he murders one of your family members right in front of you. Isaiah chapter 33, verse 1. Woe to thee that spoileth. Spoil mean rob. And thou was not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they deal not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. Iran, China, Russia, they finna tear this bitch up. But not yet, because them other two prophecies got to happen. Jacob's trouble, MOTB. And then they gonna wreck shop because it's the Lord's will. We can get a couple more and close. I wasn't gonna go through all these, but it doesn't. We'll just be beating a dead horse. So we'll get a couple more. Let's get Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 7. Concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? The answer is they never had wisdom, because the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom. Roughly paraphrasing the scripture. Matter of fact, let's get it. They never had wisdom. All they had was a gun. Their blessing. Book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 19, verse 22. The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom, neither at any time the counsel of sinners prudence. He just had left-handed knowledge and a gun. And it was the Lord's will for him to rule, to punish us. That's it. Ain't that special about you, E. Matter of fact, you the default character in every video game. No special skills. You the base man, bruh. The Lord punished us by putting a base man over us. Our punishment is about to end, and yours is about to begin. And your punishment is going to start when you destroy your own kingdom through World War III like a dumbass. And you can't do nothing about it. You gonna do it, even though you know what this leads to. It leads to the kingdom being established on earth. So, with you knowing what's coming after you start this war, your dumb ass still gonna do it. You know why? Because it's the Lord's will that you do it. You ain't got no out. Matter of fact, yeah, let's end that. Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 11. You the biggest idiot. You know what's finna happen to you, but you still gonna do it. Because it's the Lord's will you do it. Second Ezra chapter 11, verse 39. Art not thou that it remainest of the four beasts whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their times might come through them? It's already prophesied. You're going to destroy yourself. And the fourth beast came and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth, which much wicked oppression, and so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit. It's over for you, E. Let's end on, let's go to Ezekiel chapter 35. Verse 5 and 6. Actually, we can start at verse 1. Ezekiel chapter 35. Moreover, the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it, and say unto it, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. Shoot, Tel Aviv getting rocked right now. Well, yesterday they was rocking downtown. Matter of fact, they hit a United States CIA office downtown Tel Aviv. Verse 4. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord Yahweh, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, and the time of their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, said the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. For every drop of Israelite blood you Edomite shed, y'all got to shed 2 drops. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off him that passeth out, and him that returneth. That's it. You're going to destroy your own shit like a dumbass, and that's going to be in captivity. So everybody tired of you. Call Allah Alahayna Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah Hamashiach wa Malaki Bahashim Harawat Wakak Warash Baraka Thumb, the water Baba Ball, Wakwam Yashabala. Shalom.